Hey everybody, how's it going? My name is Liam and this is my hobby room, and today we're going to be doing a painted build lore sort of combo video on a master grade that I built not that long ago and have been wanting to share with you all, but I've been real busy. But now that I'm here and I'm talking in front of the camera again, I will show you the thing that I made. So the kit that I want to talk about today is the master grade GP03S Gundam Stamen from Stardust Memory. I know, I'm talking about Stardust Memory again. I know. It's my favorite series, so I'm going to be talking about it a lot. I have a lot of other Stardust Memory kits I want to talk to you about, so I hope you're not sick of it. Now, this delightful kit was released in April of 2001. That's 20 years ago, man. And you can tell because of this kind of CG, cel-shaded looking box art thing. This artwork, they did that a lot in this era. So there's a lot of these covers. And that usually means you're getting an older master grade, which is usually quite a bit cheaper than modern master grades, which is kind of nice if you're building on a budget. Before we continue, if you want to get yourself some cool Gunpla kits, go to bchobbies.com and use my discount code LHR10, get yourself 10% off. It's pretty cool, right? It's better than nothing. It's better than 0% off. You can check that out. There's lots of model kits on there, lots of Gunpla, and yeah, you can build yourself something fun. If you're interested in this kit, you should take a look at my review. I did a review of this kit. I'll put it up in the corner wherever the thing shows up that says, click on this video and you can watch my previous video. You can click on that where I talk more about the model kit itself. But this kit is actually really, really nice despite its age. I know that's a sticking point for some people, but it's a lot of fun. You're not gonna get all the inner complexities of the kit, but you are getting a really, really cool, well-proportioned master grade that represents its depiction in the series it is from. And for a lore-obsessed builder like myself, what more could I want? Nothing else. Anyways, let's get into the master grade GP03S Gundam Stamen from Stardust Memory. I don't know what that was. When assembled and cleaned up, this kit looks great. There were a lot of mold lines and some seams to close, but nothing major. I put down some photo etch parts to add some detail, and while on the topic of detail, there's something something bothers me about the kit that I want to change before I paint it, and I'm going to show you how to do that right now. So there are a few pieces on the GP03 here that, well, they're detailed, but they're just missing something. So there's these little vents here on the shoulder pauldrons and on the front skirts underneath. From all the line art I can see, they've turned these into actual vents. I think they're supposed to be vents. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this pin vise drill and drill out all these little sections here. And that way when I drill them out, I can either put a detailed piece behind them that makes it look like they're a vent, or I can just leave them empty. Probably won't leave them empty. I'll probably do the first thing. So I'm just going to take this pin vise drill and drill some holes. And then once I have enough holes, I can take my chisels and kind of work them out by hand. So this is one method you can use to get rid of a larger piece. Just drill a bunch of holes in it, weaken its structural integrity, and then I just kind of like get in there and start messing around with it. Something that will come in handy for this is a very thin metal file, or you can, you know, fold up some sandpaper. But I think using chisels and a file will probably be your best bet for doing this type of thing, just because, you know, it's a very small area, and you want to make sure that all the vertices, all the lines are exact. Chisels are very sharp, very hard, so be careful if you poke them through your hand, because that would be that would be really awful. Literally, just as I said that, I poked the chisel through my finger. So, just, you know, if you're doing what I'm doing, aka if you're looking at a camera and not at what you're actually doing with your hands for the sake of YouTube, then you may want to be careful, just because, you know, you don't want to injure yourself. So now I'm going to switch to my hobby knife and just remove the bits that my chisel was not really getting. Again, this is kind of hard to do when you are using a camera and looking through the camera. But if you're just doing this normally and like not trying to make a YouTube video, then this is actually a very easy, regular thing to do. So that's pretty rough, but I'm going to clean it up with a file. But basically what we're going to do now is do that same thing to every single one of these vents. And then we can put some detail pieces in the back, and I will show you how to do that when we get there. So now I've finished cutting out these vents, I sanded them down, I put some polyester putty in there too before I sanded, just to kind of tidy it up, because I was a little overzealous with a few of them. And I've got this piece of plastic here. It's called mold plate. It's from Wave. Wave makes these, and if you can hear this, oh yeah, that's how you know it's the good stuff. It's just a little plate with some raised detail that I thought would look good as like a vent or some kind of radiator. So what I'm going to do is cut these down. I'll probably paint them before I glue them in, but I'll be gluing them in behind these little spaces here just to add some detail. So I think that will look pretty good. We will see. I might be totally wrong, but I'm just going to cut these down and put them in behind. So it will look something like this. If you can see that, it's a little hard to see, but it'll give you some idea that there'll be some detail underneath and behind these vents. So I actually just glued these in before painting them. I figured the glue would end up messing up the paint anyways, so I can just do a reverse wash later, but hopefully you can see here the vent detail. It might be a little difficult to see, but I'm hoping you can, because I think it looks pretty cool. I think it looks pretty sweet. And once it's all painted up, it will look much better. So yeah, there's that. Let's get on to the old painting. So I've had a few people ask since my last video what I do when I'm painting my whites, and so I thought I'd just go over that real quick. So unless I intend to go over something with like a bright yellow, what I tend to do is prime everything in black, and then I will use a desaturated blue color. It's not always this one, sometimes I mix my own, just based on whatever I have lying around, but this has been a pretty good one to use for that. Mr. Color 374, which is a JSSDF Shallow Ocean Blue. You really, again, you can use any desaturated blue color, and then I just base coat it in that, and then I'll just go over it with Mr. Color 69 Off-White. This has been my favorite one so far, just out of the bottle. Sometimes I'll mix my own off-white color, but this is a pretty reliable one. And it's just a gentle color bloom, and what that does is make a cool-toned off-white color that's still very bright, and when juxtapositioned with most other colors, it'll just appear white, even though it's not a pure white. I very, very seldom will actually paint with just pure white. I find it to deaden a lot of things. It's a little too unnatural looking. So yeah, pure white and pure black I tend to use only for mixing or highlighting or shading, but never actually for you know, just a color. But anyways, yeah, this is mostly what I've been using, these two colors right here, and they're pretty great. You can check out bchobbies.com and get some for yourself. Use my code LHR10. So just as a refresher, this was the kit after the test fitting and all the photo etch and before I started painting. And here is the finished build. The GP03S Stamen only appeared in the late stages of Stardust Memory, but it made a big impression on me when I saw it for the first time. In the anime, it's deployed wearing the massive mobile armor called the Dendrobium, to keep with the whole flower motif of these mobile suits, and it only comes out of it at the very, very end of the finale. And it's kind of a shame because the GP03S is such a sleek mobile suit, and I've gained a new appreciation for its design and how you can trace its evolutionary refinement all the way back to the original design art of the GP01 Zephranthes. Ko Uraki, its pilot and the main character from Stardust Memory, completes his character arc in this series' final battle, and it's really, really cool. It's really well done, though it's not the typical hero's journey that you're kind of used to seeing. And from the start, Ko was never really that interesting of a character to me. It's mostly the people around him that kept me invested. One of my colleagues described Ko Uraki as being a weenie, which is, Graham, if you're watching this, that was you. And he's not wrong. Ko Uraki is kind of a weenie. But he's still a really good foil to his self-proclaimed nemesis, Annabelle Gato, the Nightmare of Solomon. So I took care not to over-weather the mobile suit, as it only saw that one battle, and I wanted to capture the spirit of that design from the screen in a way that pays homage to one of my favorite series. I'm quite proud of the finished work, though I wish I hadn't used quite as many decals, especially on the pauldrons. It just looks a little too much like it's trying to be a sports car or something. I do like that the wave plate details that I put in the vents on the pauldrons and the front skirt turned out pretty well, though. I'm pretty happy with how those turned out. I think they look really good. As always, I used oils for my panel lining, and I did some streaking with them, just in a few different places, and I used some acrylic paint to do some chipping. And I really tried to not overdo it. It's really easy to overdo it. I think that's one of the hardest parts about making Gunpla, is knowing when to stop with things like decals and weathering. I might actually go back and do a little more weathering around the feet. I think that would help ground the finished look a bit better, give it some weight. Make it a little more believable, you know, in whatever way makes an 18-meter tall bipedal killing machine believable anyways. I hope you can get a good look at the white color on the suit too. That's that desaturated blue base coat at work. And again, I just highlight from that blue with off-white, starting in the center and gently working my way outwards to the edges of whatever piece I'm painting. Color bloom. I also fully painted and detailed the core fighter. I didn't think I'd enjoy it as much as I did. I had fun doing it. I think it's a cool little accessory to display alongside the kit. The core fighter transformation gimmick still works as intended, totally transforms fine, but I'm pretty wary of doing it because I don't want to scrape up all the paint. As if I were to actually install it in the mobile suit, I think I'd actually cause a lot of damage to the paint job. Overall, I'm really happy with the kit. It was a great project, and I really like this era of model kits. There's a lot of work involved in getting them up to snuff, and that's kind of the stuff I like doing. As you probably know if you've seen any of the other videos on my channel, I like using all these hobby skills. I like building a kit and, you know, modifying it and cleaning up all its surfaces and doing all this stuff. It makes me feel like I've really accomplished something as I build the kit. You know, my time is invested in it. And so if you're wanting to get better at making Gunpla models, this is a fantastic kit for you. I had a really great time painting this kit. It's a kit that I've been wanting to finish for a really long time, and now that it's done, I'm quite happy with it. I just like looking at it. Which is one of my favorite things about making my Gundam models, is after I can just sit and say, yes, I did this. I'm full of beans today. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. It's been an absolute blast making videos for you. Please like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Check out bchobbies.com to get yourself some Gunpla of your very own, where you can use my code LHR10, get yourself 10% off. Hey, pretty sweet. Be kind to one another and take care of each other, and I will see you guys next time on Liam's Hobby Room. And he's perfect. There we go. Cool.